No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad and a soul train frame. We fly that flow. Spread that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. We fly it all. We fly it all. Funky and free, we fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that split that's over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all.
Greetings! My name's Aaron Ciotti, and I'm very tired. Welcome to what is it? Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. Jesus Christ!
Oh my God, we're already off to a great start.
Thank God for Kevin in my earballs. Kevin Sumner is with me tonight to
Good evening, Cretans.
make sure that I know what day it is. I just got back from Florida vacation, which is what you were just watching. We got in, we left at, God, I don't know, 10 o'clock this morning, and we got in at a little after 6, I guess it was, got everything unloaded, and then I fell asleep, and I just woke up at like 9:30 something. So I am actually still pulling footage off of all the things that I flew at Florida. What you were just watching is the Baby Turtle 2-inch on RC & Power 1003 14,000s? Let me see here. 10,000s. RC & Power 1003 10,000s, GemFan 2023S Tri-Blades. O4 Lite. Pretty decent tune, but not good enough of a tune, as you could probably see. I was really hoping that all of these micros with 04 would be locked in enough for some windy kind of stuff. Not like super windy, but somewhat windy. The footage that I've seen so far, which is not all of it, is not looking great. It's looking like we got some more work to do on these 04 Lite carrying itty bitty rigs to get them to handle wind better, and what I think that means is more powerful motors. I think they just need more response time, more thrust to push against, to have the ability to stay absolutely rock solid in the air. There might be a little bit of performance to be had with the tune, but I don't really know. Usually you can get like a couple percent improvement with tuning, but to get like I feel like we need 10, 20, 30% better sort of flight performance to have them be locked in enough. But you know, it's good to find this out. I didn't get to fly any super amazing spots, and I didn't get to fly in like any great sunsets, so I didn't miss anything super insane. I just sprayed a cockroach, and the smell of the murdering liquid is absolutely killing me. Hang on 1 second. Woo-hoo-hoo! Boy, it is stanky up in here. Hold on, let me just wipe the murder liquid off the ceiling real quick here.
Tonight's stream brought to you by Raid.
Jesus Christ, it is too. It literally is Raid. Kevin, how was your last week?
Oh my god, work is killing me. I'm exhausted.
How's
Probably.
sloth planning going?
Sloth planning is going fine. Actually, that's what I was doing just before this. If y'all are gonna want to be in Birmingham and go fly sloths furnaces in 2 weeks, I will drop a link in chat here in just a minute. But yeah, it's going all right. Mr. Fly High FPV Dave Shaddix is really cranking this one out. He's doing a wonderful job. And the rest of the guys, Atreides I saw was in chat. He's helping out on a race flight line, and we're gonna have the hang
Race
time
flight
guys.
line.
Yeah, we're gonna have racing.
Oh, race. I thought you meant like people that were flying race flight. I was like, that's gonna be a slow flight line.
Oh no Preston.
As in, like, there's not gonna be many people there. Not the people are gonna be slow.
Yeah, right. No, but Whoop. Yeah, we're gonna have Whoop freestyle at night and Whoop racing at night. It's gonna be gonna be a party.
Yeah, Sloss is gonna be rad. I wish I could go for more than the 1 day, but April's a crazy month for me. All right, so yeah, you guys are gonna see me like just kind of farting around on the desktop. That is me pulling footage off these little bastards, so that I can play it all for you and we can talk about it and see what we can learn. I'm gonna learn as well because I haven't looked at it all. I was I flew when it was sort of convenient, which is what I try to do on vacations that are not about FPV. And so, like, Maggie had to run. She had work. She had to do a couple hours of work on Friday, and so I went out and flew while she was doing that. It was like the middle of the day though, so the sun was overhead. It was super bright, which is bad for these micros that we're trying to get HD footage off of. And then I snuck in a couple of batteries on Saturday afternoon as well, which is what you were just watching in beyond golden hour. Unfortunately, we were into blue hour, and it was a little bit too late. But yeah, I got enough batteries flown where we can talk about some stuff and maybe learn about some stuff. I also blew up my O4. Well, I didn't blow it up. It blew up. Tune RC Poly F405. I'd been told by a couple of people in comments and in chat that when they've run the Tune RC AIO on 4S that it's caught on fire, and mine went ahead and did the same. So, as usual, if an AIO has a bracketed amp rating, like in this case 2S to 4S, if you run them on 4S, you're asking for them to explode. It's always better to have an AIO that's rated, like in this case, 2S to 6S or 3S to 6S, and then you run it on 4S. Always, always, always try to not max out the voltage and obviously the amps, right? Like we know that when there's a 5 amp AIO and we run it on big nasty motors on like a 1.6 inch prop, it doesn't deliver as good performance as with a 12 amp AIO. On bigger sizes and higher voltages, they'll just blow up if you try to do that. If you try to ask too much of the if you run motors and props that are asking too much amp out of the FETs will just explode. For whatever reason on 1S, the FETs don't explode. They just don't deliver enough amperage, which is kind of cool, to be honest. But yeah, anytime you're asking for something to perform at its absolute rated limit, you're running the risk of it exploding. So I need to find a different AIO for this. I'm certainly not going to do another Tune RC AIO in this and have it blow up again. It would appear that the O4 Lite survived, though. It just got a little bit singed on this one side. I was able to plug it in and get the footage off of it. The last flight file does not seem to be a complete flight file though. So I think the only footage we will have of the explosion will be in the goggles if they were recording. I'm not going to pull that tonight though. We're just going to pull the onboard DVR stuff, and this guy now absolutely horrendously stinks of electrical fire, which has been just so nice to live with for the past few days, because I almost left it outside at one point. I brought the Grinderino and immediately remembered why I stopped flying this. The ESC is on its way out, and it like all over the place. So I'm gonna pull the flight footage off that, so that you can see what an absolute nightmare it is. But it gives you an idea of the flight characteristics of a big, heavy 3.6 inch kind of build. So if you can ignore the fucking jankiness, then yeah, you'll see what one of those flies like. Also, it's on O3, so this is one of our O3 rigs. So look at how that footage compares to other stuff. So DJ 1340. Okay, cool. So those are copying now. What else? What did I miss, Kevin? What did I miss in the FPV world while I was blissfully unaware of anything ever?
Honestly,
did Joshua stream yesterday?
No, he did not. I didn't see it. I didn't look specifically for it, but I didn't see it.
He doesn't. He just doesn't love you guys as much as I do. It's a terrible thing to say.
It is.
He loves you guys. He loves you guys, just not as much as me. I think I just got the footage off of that guy, right? 2-inch, 2-inch O4 whoop. Okay, so 2-inch O4 whoop is good to go. We got some flight footage off of the non-ND filtered Freestyle 1.6-inch O4 2S build. And I believe that's it.
You want to take a moment, say hi to chat?
Oh, good idea. I've forgotten how to live stream, and we've also got some GoPro, from 40-degree angle GoPro footage off this. I was really wanting to fly this down the beach, but the situation just never presented itself. So I test flew it at a little park, and that'll have to do. But again, you'll be able to see the difference between prop sizes and whatnot. FizzPV was first in the chat. Bryce Stevenson, Sleepy CBR, Red HLG, Fizz again, McMucus, Natter, Kevin Sumner, Giddybots, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Atreides, Spaceman Spiff, Doubles FPV, Level Up, Double Oze, Capital C, Doubles, Mike Owen. I'm going to leave it there. If you want the gangly to read your name, you got to come in first and be on my first page of chat bing bongs, or just type at CiottiFPV into your message, and then I'll read your message. B-Bird says, how about the Drac Knight? How about the Drac Knight? Uriel says, and the godly voice, howdy, it's Tuesday over here. Happy to see you. Doc Holiday says, thought you were on vacation for a week. Surprised you were not having a show until Wednesday. Nice to see you, though. Man, I can't remember the last time I did a full week vacation. It's hard with the house and with the children. Usually our vacations are like 2 days or 3 days. In this case, they were 3 days. It was 3 days. Huge thank you to my parents. Actually, this vacation was a Christmas present from them to Maggie and I. When it gets cold in New Jersey, for the past 7 years, they get into their RV and they drive south, and they come visit us, and then they go to a bunch of RV parks in Florida. And this particular RV park that they're at right now has a bunch of cabins that you can rent. And so for Christmas, they rented us one of these cabins for 3 nights. And so Maggie and I had to pay for extremely expensive, thanks so much, you bastards. You know who you are. You're not watching, but we had to pay a lot of money for gas, but that's kind of it. A little bit of food, which is amazing. And we left everyone here, including this goddamn dog that won't leave me alone. He ran away. And so that was really, really nice to have a few days. We drove up on Thursday, and then, we drove home today. So we had 3 really, really nice, relaxing, chill days. The weather was great. No rain until this morning, which was perfect because it's like, get the hell out, bro. It was amazing to see them and get to have some great food with them. They treat us very, very well. They take us out for lots of food, and we go exploring, and it's awesome. You know, they spend months sometimes at these places, so they get to really like learn the areas, and then we get to come in and benefit from that, and just, you know, get to have practically tour guides showing us the cool spots and whatnot. We were we were we were right next to St. George Island, which was kind of our favorite spot. And so we might go back to St. George Island if it doesn't get sunken, because it's like 2 feet above sea level in the next year or 2. But hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully the people that live there don't die. But they might. They might. That's just how it is when we shit all over the planet, you know? The sea level rises and drowns us all. Remember Waterworld? It's coming! It's gonna be an autobiography soon enough. Maybe not in our lifetime, but our kids are certainly gonna have to deal with that, and that sucks, man. That sucks. So, get it together, humans. All right. The crippled, what's this called? Grinderino? I almost just called this Grinderino. Oh my god.
Are you tired? You can't tell.
Quite. Grinderino. This is called the Grinderino. This needs a new ESC. It might get taken all the way apart. I mean, it's got to get taken all the way apart to get to the ESC because it's on a 20x20 stack. There's a chance at that point that it will not go back together, but it might, because it's got a perfectly usable 03 in it. So it might just get an ESC swap. The flight controller is fine in it as well. But we'll see. No promises. The Grinderino might be a casualty of war here soon. I don't know what war it's going to be a casualty of, but you'll have to subscribe to find out. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. I still remember how to be a YouTuber. Is this what it is? Is this what being a YouTuber is? Is it just saying nonsensical things to the internet? That's certainly part of it right here. This is the best part of it right here. Look at him looking up at the camera. What are you looking up at? That look. What was that look? Oh, shit. Oh. Let's see if he'll ignore it. Oh, I'm a genius. I knew this would work. Uh-oh. Hold on. No. Stop it, Teddy. Teddy. Oh. Little toy that Maggie got for him. Oh, my God. Why don't you sit down, dog? Why don't you sit? There you go. There he is. Look at this guy. It's Teddy's live stream now. Hold on. Let me figure. I didn't realize this was all janky. Clown up in here. There we go. Who knows what Janky Clown is from? I'll be very impressed if anyone does. Kevin, do you know what Janky Clown is from?
No.
I'll give you a hint. Janky Clown. That's the only hint you're getting. It's not a very good hint, admittedly. Janky Clown is from the end of a show.
Totally lost. Nope.
At the end of a show, you know, like at the end of shows, they'll have like the production companies and the this and the that, and one of those production companies was called Janky Clown. And for the life of me, I can't remember what show it was right now, which is maddening and just completely demolishes the whole point of talking about this. I'm tired. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm tired. Let me get some sleep, you bastards. I told you. Look at the dog. Oh my god, I'm gonna eat him. Shit, would you guys like to watch me eat the dog live? Would that be a better live stream for tonight? I chop him up, I fry him up, and eat him.
I have a feeling that would be a harshly negative thing to do for on your stream.
Teddy, would you like that? Look at him, he's nodding yes. Look, he's nodding. He's saying yes. He wants me to eat him. Oh my god. I apologize for anyone watching. All right, I'm doing all right though. I'm almost done pulling the footage off this stuff. And then we can have a look. We can have a gander. This guy's up next. This guy disappointed me so much. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty bad. GX040. Okay, this is good. Move the trash. We're back to dog cam. The Teddy has more to offer this live stream than I do right now.
While you're
Hands
moving
down.
video, you want me to read you some chat tags?
Oh, that'd be great.
Uriel says at CiottiFPV. Nope, no message. Just your name. Double Ose says Ciotti just got my first analog Whoop Air 65 radio and batteries with your links. Goggles aren't here yet, so I'm flying line of sight until then.
Okay. Line of sight is actually really nice to learn. So yeah, that's a good thing. Put as much time in as you can line of sight. That will come in super handy when eventually your video link fails you and you have to fly the thing back to yourself, or else you lose it in the infinite abyss.
Bryce Stevenson 5524 says Ciotti. That's scrolled. I'm finding my place. Ciotti, any idea what would cause one of my Air 65 V2 motors to spin when armed? Sometimes, but not others. But if I spin it myself and rearm it, spins again, new motor. So I ruled that out.
Is it just one, or is it all of them? If it's all of them, it's either your digital idle or your startup value in ESC configurator. So when I have that issue, I go into ESC configurator and I just crank both startup sliders all the way up. On most versions, on even the newest version of 0.21 of Bluejay, it's pretty fine to do that. So that's where I would start. If it's all four motors, yeah, your digital idle is too low, or the other thing that I said with my human mouth is too low.
And
so give that a shot.
You know that the digital idle setting changed from 4.5 to 2025.12.
Did it really? What did they do to it?
Yeah, they made it so that the static if you've got dynamic idle enabled and you flip the static, and you need to set the bump up your idle for when you first arm, you can now do that in the static idle field instead of having to go in the CLI.
Okay. Have you looked at it? Is it in the PIDs tab or in the motors tab?
Oh, it's in the motors tab. It's the static. Digital idle is still in the PIDs tab, and static idle / idle before PID is in.
Okay, so they moved that secondary idle adjustment out of the CLI into the motors tab. That's pretty cool. Is it? How did I not see that? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they just repurposing that? Because we've always had that idle field in there. They're just repurposing that. That's
they're
really
repurposing it, and I think that they're also internally dropping it as a second configurable. They're just referencing static idle.
Good for them. That makes a ton of sense, and that is way less confusing.
All the senses in the world.
Very cool.
Godzilla the Terrible says 40-degree up tilt on that 7-inch Ciotti. Give her full stank a lot of puss.
There we go. Now we're talking. Speaking of, let's put that shit on. Here it is. So this is the only GoPro footage, and it is. No, that's the wrong monitor. It is. It is just like me. But what I can do is go to filters and do that. Now for you guys, it has the GoPro look applied. So there you go. This is the 7-inch build, which is an FPV Cycle glide frame. You guys getting the audio? You guys are. Let's turn this down a little bit. That's okay. Fuck you too. Oh, nope. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. All right. This is the 7-inch glide. Regular old glide frame. 40-degree up tilt GoPro mount, and the FPV camera is also at 40 degrees up. These are Brother Hobby Avenger 2510 1380 kV motors. I think I have motor limited down a little bit. 55 amp T-motor ESC, old school Talon flight controller up front. And then the props are these HQ mega pitchy bi-blades. What are they? Oh, that's right. They don't say on them, because what worse thing for you to do on a propeller is to not... It's like a 7x5x2 propeller. It's the most pitchy HQ bi-blades that I could find available from a normal website. Right before I left, actually, I did an order with, I want to say, Defiant RC, who have a ton of different 7-inch props coming. So I've got a package coming with a bunch more 7-inch propellers that I'll do some testing on. These are okay, but as you can hopefully see, it is wobbling around a little bit. This is kind of a weird motor. Again, 2510, 25 mil wide, 10 tall. That's a little bit of a small motor for a 7-inch propeller. I'm running this motor because this is the biggest motor that fits regular 16x16 mounting pattern, which is all these arms have. These are a custom set of arms. They're a Dead Cat 7-inch arm that I had Ryan Harrell custom cut in 6mm thick carbon. And so, yeah, you can't really build this. Although I did have him cut a few sets of these arms, and I think there might be a set of these arms on my Etsy store. But, yeah, weird kind of build. But I think that I can get it a little bit better than this. Although, like, all things considered, I could put this into real steady go, and all of that wobbling would be completely gone. So, and like... I'm never gonna run this freestyle, and so like it's kind of fine already. I did not get great runtime with it though. This is a 6S 1750 mAh battery, and like yes, I'm flying it nose down fast the whole battery and like changing directions a lot, but I think I only got like 3.5 minutes on it, so I think it still does need a little bit more tuning. I've not black box logged it yet. I put a switch into the position where I think it would have turned on a black box log So I might have a log to kind of look at, but yeah, we'll see. This needs a little bit more love, which it will get because I have a whole bunch more of these 7-inch props coming. But yeah, that's what you're looking at now. 7-inch big pitch bi-blades. I think they're 7x5x2s.
Godzilla wants to know why so much uptilt.
Why so much uptilt? I don't have any interest in doing long range, but I do want something to go really fast for as long as possible. The Cineglide here is a 2507 motored 5-inch build that I set up to go fast, but then when I go fast with it, it just annihilates batteries. And so this 7-inch build is an attempt to get efficiency back while still going fast. And I'm not there quite yet, but I just, I probably have less than 10 batteries through the 7-inch setup yet. So it needs more love, and it needs more kind of messing around. Again, the motors that I'm running are out of the norm. Like, I would love to run a 2807 motor. That would be a better motor option, but they're 21x21 mounting pattern, I believe it is, rather than 19x19. Or this might be 16x16, and those motors are 19 by... I forget what it is, but the mounting pattern on those bigger motors won't work on these arms. Unfortunately, I did not notice on these arms before having Ryan cut them that they were the motor mounts were not slotted. They're just 4 holes, and I didn't think about it. If I'd thought about that, I could have absolutely had Ryan make those motor holes wider. But yeah, he already cut the entire 6mm sheet that I bought, which was almost $200 with those motor holes as they are. So it sort of is what it is. But 2510, that is a big motor. 2510 has as much stator volume as 2807. And so the motors are big enough. It's just going to be, can I keep them cool? And a part of that is going to be having a really good PID tune on there. And I don't yet. The only testing that I've done is running like 5 different sets of props that I was able to get between like Pyrodrone, GetFPV, and Race Day quads to see which props were best balanced, and they were all sort of fairly well balanced. And then I got these really high pitch bi-blades, and I was like, yes, these are the ones I want. Lots of pitch, bi-blades for efficiency. That was sort of the whole point. But yeah, it needs a little bit more loving, because I think it should have gotten more than 3 minutes of runtime in the kind of flying that I was just doing. But I do need to pay a little bit more attention to the OSD. When I was flying it around, it was telling me that it was using almost 30 amps at like a cruise. It was a nose down cruise with a 40-degree up tilt mount. So maybe that was correct, but yeah, I don't know. More testing at some point next month. The rest of this month again is getting ready for O4 madness next month with the live broadcast fleet. So next month there will be more 7-inch testing.
Godzilla says T-Motor 3008 15,000 or 1500 kV is where it's at.
Yeah, see, I wish I could run a motor like that. I wish that I'd noticed these damn arms were just drilled, not slotted for motors. Those are motor that yeah, I've heard really good things about. But I'm going to try to make these 2510s work, because there's not a whole lot of other options. I mean, I could certainly sit there with a Dremel on these arms and Dremel those holes out, but like I'm just worried about it not being perfectly even, So I'm going to try to make these 2510s work. 2510 should have enough stator volume. It's just going to be, can I keep them from getting too hot? We'll find out together, people. There's one more battery. There's one more chunk of footage I need.
If you've got access to a drill press, it is possible to drill those arms. I drilled, my dad and I drilled on his drill press some 3.5-inch arms, I think. Works out just fine. Not slotted, just literally holes in the position that I need them in.
Oh, okay. See, what I'm worried about, even with a drill press, like it's got a hole. I'm gonna have to like come like here on there, and I'm worried about it like wanting to kind of walk. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to get like right straight down there.
I forget the type
That
of
makes
bit, but
sense.
there's a bit that has a point on the end that helps kind of give you a pilot hole. And if you're gonna
Sure.
need a metric, if you're gonna need metric anyway for the M3s, go ahead and buy that bit from McMastercar. Put that bit to work.
Yeah. Right. True. Uh, why do the HD0 goggles not have a memory card in them?
That I can't help with.
I only flew like one analog battery, but it was a good one, damn it. And I wanted to show you guys the difference between a 1.6-inch analog whoop and a 1.6-inch O4 whoop, because it was shocking. I could not believe how much more comfortable I was on the analog setup. It definitely said record at the top of the screen. Like there was definitely a memory card in it. That's annoying. No, it's sitting right here. Nope, there was not a memory. Well, maybe there was a memory card in it. Let's see. 84. Hey, there was a memory card in it. Look at me. I took the memory card out and I put it on the desk. Oh, boy. All right. Last flight file. Copying over.
Ready for another message?
Yeah, hit me.
Ryan's that says, what is your favorite sub 250 all around freestyle drone? Seeker 3, Avon RC, Drac Knight. Had to throw that one in. Been eyeing the Crux 3 and 35 as well. Something for cinematic freestyle.
I don't know any of those, but it kind of doesn't matter. For if you're going to be at 250 grams, it's just about the motors and the props, really. You want like minimum 1404 motor. The T motor, the T motor 1404s are awesome. 4600 kV. Don't go 6S. Stay 4S. And then there are some good propellers. The HQ 3x3x3s are apparently the best balanced. Not the most fragile though. The Gemfan 3052s are really well balanced, and I think they're going to be a little bit more durable. Yeah, the most, if not all, frames being made at this point are good enough. So pick a frame that's top mount if you want top mount, right? Pick a frame that's the right prop size. Pick a frame that fits whatever the video system that you're looking to haul around, and you're gonna kind of be fine. I always look for, like, once you get up to that size, you can get something that has removable arms. There's kind of no reason to do a solid base plate frame at that size. So get something with removable arms, so that when, not if, you break an arm, you can replace it. For flying cinematic, it makes less of a difference. For flying cinematic, you're going to look for something with not a lot or any propeller in view. What are you doing, dog? What are you doing? You're all up on me! And yeah, those are kind of the biggest things that you know, I love when a frame has freestyle arms and then dead cat arms, but I don't know if there are going to be any like that. That's going to be a really tough find. Quadmula has some really good frames. The Siren frames are like phenomenal. They've got the Jin, the DJINN is the name of the frame. It's a 2.5, but it's a dead cat, and there's no props in view, which is really cool. And they have a version of it for 04, a version of it for 03. So some really good options there. But yeah, that's how you should kind of look at this. Bigger than 1404 motors is fine. 1405, 1504, 1604, awesome. Those will all work really, really good on a 3-inch setup. And so yeah, that's those are some of the most important things to kind of buy one of those. These manufacturers don't send me anything, so I can't test, and I certainly can't afford to buy all these and individually test them. You can probably find someone that has tested those different rigs on YouTube. No offense to anyone on YouTube, but I doubt that you're certainly not going to find like the same person that's tested all of them that can compare them. I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to find somebody that is willing to say what sucks about them, and or somebody that's good enough at flying to like really be able to tell the differences in flight characteristics. I have a feeling the reviews that you're going to find of them are going to be, it's the best quad ever. It's the best quad ever. My affiliate link is down here. Click it because this is the best quad ever. It's the best quad ever. I'm going to make some money. I mean, it's the best quad ever. So that's going to be a little tough, but yeah, I think you should buy, if you use those different things I talked about, the arm geometry, what motors it comes with, top mount versus bottom mount, what video assist, right? I think with all those different things, that'll reduce those choices down to like 1 or 2. And then at that point, just close your eyes and point, because they're going to close their eyes when they build it. So, get on board. Any thoughts, Kevin? What did I miss?
The only part that you missed is that it's the greatest quad ever until next week, when another vendor has another quad, and then that one's just old news.
They're all going to be the best quads ever. As a reminder, if you have a Caddx Baby Ratel 2, for the love of God, buy something off my Etsy store and say, yo, send me that beautiful, shiny new case for the Baby Ratel 2. This has been sitting on my desk for months. And if one of you does not admit that you have this camera and take this from me, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to freak out. There you go.
Edzilla the Terrible says, Ciotti, you are blessed. Your family sounds amazing. Love them up.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. My mom and dad are just the greatest. They are far too kind for a degenerate like me to be their offspring. Here comes a little bit more flight footage. This says DJI 0014. This is probably the Grinderino. It'll be very easy to tell. Yeah, it's already easy to tell because there's frame in view. You can see the top plate in the top corners of the effing FPV view. There's another big dead giveaway though. Ready? There's a huge giveaway that this is the Grinderino. Ready? That's it. The ESC is very much on its way out. This is a Speedix GX25 ESC that luckily you can't get anymore. And it is just a mess. But this is the same location with a really powerful 3.5-inch build. It's actually on a 3.6-inch prop, the Gemfan 36 something or other, on Xnova 1804s. So this is a really powerful, like 300-gram 3.5-inch rig. To give you some idea of the flight differences between this and a 7-inch build. This is also a pretty hardcore freestyle build that I can smash and crash, and so I'm willing to drop down low here and whatnot. But handling the wind really well. This is also GoPro versus the other footage was GoPro. This is now 03, DJI 03, and it looks great. The 03 system in the middle of the day is fantastic. I think this has a ND8 filter on it as well. So yeah, in the middle of the day, the DJI 03 system is really, really good. Like this looks better than like a Session 5, if I'm really honest. I hate to admit that. Here comes absolute heartbreak. Ready? Let me just shoot this gap. It's a fence. It's a fence. I got to right about here, and I saw the fence, and I was like, yep, we're going in. And I was very far away, and it now took me like 2 minutes to run and get the damn thing, because it blew a here's the really annoying part about that. The HQ 3x3x3 propellers are I still need to test this, but people I trust say that they're the best balanced 3-inch propeller, but they're not very durable. When you crash them in a situation like this, the hub, they just explode at the hub. What is it about HQ and hubs that are not strong enough, and hubs that explode? Their 3x3x3 props here are old. These are old school. These are like 5-6-year-old propellers, but they suffer with the same problems that their new HQ ultralight props do, and they explode at the hub, and that's exactly what happens. If I'd been running the GemFan 3052s, it wouldn't still be sitting on the ground here. Maybe it would have bent a propeller up so much that I wouldn't have been able to fly it home, but usually not. Usually it'll bend on the way home, but I at least get it home and not have to jog 2 full minutes to get the damn thing. But yeah, I'd left the extra propellers back at the little cabin, so that was the end of flying the Grinderino. But there you go. There's a 7-inch versus a 3.5-inch at the same location. And now we're going to go even smaller to my stank ass. At the time, it wasn't stank ass, but nowadays, since the Tune RC AIO exploded, literally caught fire, it stinks like hell. Now we're going to go to a 3-inch build. We went from 2510 motors on 7-inch bi-blades down to 1804 motors on 3.6-inch tri-blades. Now we're going... Wait, I'm sorry. That rig was not on 3x3x3s. This one is. That rig was on GemFan 3630s. The GemFan 3630 blew up at the hub. Sorry, HQ. But your ultralight props do blow up at the hub a lot. That was a GemFan 3630 failure. My bad. Here come the 3x3x3s. These love to the blades bend at the hub. The hub doesn't explode. The blade bends at the joint between the hub, and it just but they're really well balanced. So here's my little build. 1405 Oddity RC Spinny Boys motors on 3x3x3s. Nothing like trashing on a company's product that you weren't even flying at the time. This was a spot that I didn't know if there were alligators at, and I was a little freaked out, and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, and I also didn't want to lose one of these in a tree because I did not have my extendable pole, and so I was flying a little weird at this spot. I was kind of like scared flying at this spot a little bit, and I almost just lost it there. I didn't see that little branch. So fair warning, this is not my sort of best flying. I just wanted to have fun and not leave one of these things forever in a tree. But boy, this thing flies awesome. These 1405 motors have a shitload of power. This is now O4 Lite, so we've looked at GoPro Hero 12 to O3 and now O4 Lite. O4 Lite is very contrasty. This like kind of doesn't need any color correction at all. It might actually need to be backed off a little bit, but use that big power here, which I think is the problem. I think I was asking too much of this Tune RC AIO. These 1405 motors make a lot of power. This was a blast, though. This was really fun to fly while it lasted. with the O4 Lite, I think this also had an ND filter on it. I believe it had an ND8, which is why we don't really have much, if any. There was a little bit of jiggling around there, but we don't really have any jello here. That was me almost putting it into the top of that tree. When I fly, this is also me knowing myself. When I fly spots like this that have big, tall pine or palm trees, I get way too comfortable, and I start doing all kinds of dumb shit, and then I end up putting them into the top of the tree. And so this is me, like, the whole time I'm flying, just like relax, 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 relax. So, yeah. The difference between O3 and O4 Lite is shockingly small. I think O3 still does look a little bit better, but boy, O4 Lite is incredibly impressive, especially at the weight that it's at. If you can get your hands on some O3s, there's nothing wrong with them. In the middle of the day, they are damn good. But I don't know if I would pay more for an O3 than a new O4 Lite. Maybe, because the O3 is going to probably do a lot better in crashes. The O4 Lite, it has certainly looked like, is not a lover of smashing into things. The O3 is probably going to be just like the Vista or the O4 Pro, where you can beat them up pretty good and they don't seem to really care about it. So yeah, this was really fun for this 1.5 batteries that I got out of this build before the AIO check down out. No propeller in view, mainly from the I'm not going to say small field of view, but kind of small field of view. I'm actually second guessing myself here. This isn't the 2-inch build, is it? There's a chance that this is the 2-inch build. Hold on. Let me pull this off to the side like this. Let me just take a quick look here. You know what I'll be able to tell if I land on the... Nope, this is not the 2-inch build, because the 2-inch build was just sitting on the roof there. Okay, cool. Right? Which one's that? Yeah. No. What are you? Oh my god. You were just watching the 2-inch build. That's the 3. Wow. Okay. It's the fumes. It's the smell of electrical fire that's okay. I'm impressed that I didn't realize that was the yeah, no, here's my frame. Okay. That's actually really impressive. So that was the... How was that? That was middle of the day, and there was no jello. That is obviously O4 Lite footage. Wow, okay. So that's some of the best footage that I got off of this. That was this. That's super impressive. There was practically no jello, even on my screen here. You know what? There was also no wind. So that's what you can get from one of these little bastards if there's no wind. What you're about to see is disappointing. Here's what happens when you get a little bit of wind from this. Or did I guess I flew a second battery there? Okay, I got a little bit more comfortable with it. And then I flew a second battery there with it. So yeah, this is me getting a little bit more ham with it. You can see at the top of the trees, there's not a pine needle wiggling in sight. This is totally windless. 2-inch Baby Turtle Pro. Sorry, no. V7. No. This is the Pro. Yeah. 2-inch Baby Turtle Pro. O4 Lite, 1003 RC and power motors, 10,000 kV, Gemfan 2023S tri-blades, Flywoo AIO. Doesn't matter what AIO you put on it. Ooh, this is also, that first battery was a 300 mAh 2S. This is now a 2S 450. There have to be moments of at least a little bit of jello. At least a little bit of, like, jank. Come on, give me some jank. Give me a little bit of jank. Come on now. This isn't the same battery, is it? No. It's got to be a different battery. No prop in view whatsoever. I don't think I realized... Nah, this is the same battery. You're watching the same battery. I'm sorry, guys. Because I made that same little mistake there. Boy, that's really impressive. This is not impressive. Ready? This is not a lot of wind here either. But this is with some wind. Look at the difference. Here's my parents. Oh my god, look at the difference. They didn't know I was there. I surprised them. I can tell it's this rig from the horsepower. So here you go. Here comes the it's just getting pushed around a little bit by the wind at all times. Look both ways before you cross the street. This is also in the middle of the day with no ND filter. I assumed that this would have a bunch of jello, but yeah, there's some jello there. It's not that bad though. There's the wind. Yeah, okay. So this is substantial wind. This is 10 to 15 miles an hour of wind. I was really hoping though that open prop, powerful motors, right? Like I was really hoping that this would be able to handle this kind of wind, but like right there, for example, look at that. Like that's, yeah, this is rough. And when it's moving around like that, the PID loop is kind of freaking out, and so this was a sketchy flight. This was a really, really sketchy flight. This did not feel super locked in and in control. I don't know what the solution might be, going to a 2.5-inch setup. I'm going to try for a solution to add power and spend a little bit more time tuning. But this might just be asking too much from a 2-inch platform. I'm not sure. This is pretty demanding though. Like wind like that, like that's hard for even a 5-inch rig to be able to handle. But we can, I own rigs that can handle that kind of wind and not give that juddery flight performance. So it's totally yeah, see, it's doing it here again. And there's some jello. There's some absolute jello going on. It's not that bad, but it's bad enough that like I won't spend a bunch of time chopping this up into a cinematic edit. The sun is really high, so we have like these really harsh shadows. This is not the time of the day to fly anyway. This is me just having some fun at the end of Maggie's workshop that she taught. You can really see the wind there. Like this is me flying with the wind, and I just like blasted through 8 of those really cool looking shaded picnic table things, whereas going the other way it was like just like really trying to push through the wind. Trying my best to get down there, but like you can see that like the wind really pushed that power loop way to the side. And then like dropping down below stuff, like I could feel the PID loop starting to freak out, and that always makes me really nervous. That I got really lucky there. That was just bad flying. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I was really, really, really hoping that no prop guards would miraculously do for me, but it needs to be no prop guards and some tuning, or maybe a more powerful motor. Maybe an 1103 would be enough on here, but it's looking like or maybe just a 1003 14,000 would be enough, but it's looking like a 1003 10,000 is not quite enough. Maybe... Well, not maybe. Certainly, bi-blades would be a better option for this kind of flying. With bi-blades, though, I think I would need more KV. So maybe that's the next thing that I go to. But I like the tri-blades for crashing. I would not be willing to fly this as hard on bi-blades because they're going to be harder on the motors, but the motors are on plugs, so maybe bi-blades is the way to go. But there you go. There was the kind of disappointing flight that I had with the Baby Turtle 2-inch. Because, yeah, I thought it would be magic. Here is now Blue Hour. This is really dark. Less wind, but not no wind. And this was fun to fly in the goggles. It looked totally locked in. But looking at it full screen here, it's not. This is a little too dark too. Hold on, let me throw this filter on real quick. Color correction will brighten it up. There you guys go. All right, so that's a little bit brighter for you. It's still pretty dark for me. But yeah, again, can you see it? I hope you guys can kind of see like the there it is. Like it's just kind of jerking around. There's yeah. This rig needs some more loving. It needs, I think, a little bit more time spent tuning, or at the very least, more time spent tuning. Yeah, you can really see it there. It's just wobbling about. Or more powerful motors, lighter weight propellers, better response time. When we talk about like this kind of behavior, right? Like you just want to fly it dead steady. The motor and propeller combo have to have really, really good response time because like every little bit of wind that hits it, it needs to be able to push back immediately, like right away for that not to show up as a wobble or a bobble. If you're carrying a GoPro around, it kind of doesn't matter. You drop it into real steady go and you're done. And it takes all that jank out. And I guess I could put these into gyro flow, but this is already kind of like low field of view. And so you put it into gyro flow and it makes it even less field of view. This is not like the little HD systems don't have super high quality as it is. And so you're hurting the field of view and you're hurting the quality. And so, yeah, I don't like that. You can see it again, just kind of wobbling around. This was fun though. I had a really good time, and like if I was just showing this to like friends or family or whatever, it'd be totally fine. They wouldn't notice the wobbles and the bobbles. If they did notice, they wouldn't ask because they wouldn't want to be mean. And it would be totally fine. But like I'm trying to do this as like an edit that lives on my channel. And so yeah, I want it to be better than this. And
Uriel says I want to live at that place.
Nice. Yeah, this is Carabel, Florida. Carabel doesn't have a lot going on, but it's near like Pensacola, it's near St. George's Island, it's near some really cool spots. So it's neat to be here and then to have all these different cool spots like within a half an hour drive. And this RV park was pretty nice, and the little cabin that we were in was just perfect. So yeah, we had a blast. This was great. I think I just wobble around a little bit more. I think there's maybe one more battery. Yeah, okay, so I then drove down to these cool things, and I pushed the ISO all the way up to 1600 to see if this would be even remotely usable. And it kind of is. The wind had died really almost all the way down. I think the flag you'll see here in a second is almost completely flat, but this is the limit of the O4 Pro would have been beautiful right now, but the O4 Lite, even at 1600 ISO, it's just not quite enough. In fairness, like it's dark out at this point. Like this is beyond blue hour. You can see how bright the street lights are, and look how bright the traffic light is on the ground there. Right, this is like full blown dark. Like the GoPro Hero 12 and the O4 Pro, they would be enough for this to look okay, but this is asking too much from a tiny little sensor in the O4 Lite. What was impressive though is that I was able to fly this somewhat comfortably. It's a little bit noisy. I can see the noise here. You guys probably can't see the noise coming through YouTube, but this is a little bit noisy. But it was flyable. Other than that, I did not see that tree at all. I had a feeling it was there. I didn't think I was that close to it. But yeah, in terms of like, I just want to go out and have fun and fly, even in this level of darkness, the O4 Lite is still pretty decent. An analog camera would have been significantly better than this. Like, all the analog cameras are just unbelievable in low light. But yeah, the O4 Lite is not like the O3. This right here would not be flyable with an O3 in any way, shape, or form. This is really impressive that the O4 lightweight, cheap setup, if you crank the ISO to 1600, or I think it could even go to 3200, but then it's totally noisy. So yeah, look, the flags are totally flat down. So this is no wind whatsoever. And now we don't have any of that jankiness either. Now it's nice and smooth. It's also smooth because the shutter speed is like 1/30th of a second or 1/50th of a second or whatever. But yeah, this was fun. I had fun flying this. This is worthless footage that I'll probably end up deleting, but I did have fun flying this. And so for a lot of people, that's what sort of matters, right? So yeah, very impressed by the performance of the O4 Lite. A little bit less impressed with the performance of this 2-inch build, but you know, that just means that I got to spend a little bit more time on it, and that's fine. So yeah, I flew through those things a bunch more, and that was really kind of it.
You asked me earlier if there was FPV news that you missed, and I was reminded that there is some.
Oh, sweet.
Atreides has opened his own store.
I saw that. He texted me. What's the link? I wanted to open it up real quick on the stream.
I'm going to drop it in chat. It is fpvfreedom.com.
Atreides has been the main builder for Fly 533 for a long time now. Awesome guy. And now he's got his own thing going. He's left 533 and he's got his own thing going, and it's very cool. And I'm hoping that him and I can work on something cool in the not too near future. What in the world is that weird little thing?
I was wondering the same thing. I think that's like a prototype or an early version of the like little box that he has that has all the plugs on it and the voltage.
Very cool. So yeah, check it out, fpvfreedom.com. I'm going to spend a little bit more time floating through this website either on Wednesday or Friday, but thank you for mentioning it because, yeah, everybody should check it out and bring some questions to the chat and ask me to look at this or that or the other, and we'll take a quick look. This is absolutely brand new. Like, he just threw this up to have something. So, you know, don't come to the next live stream and be like, it looked unprofessional. I can't order from that guy. Don't be stupid.
Skip says that's a thermal camera coming up for search and rescue.
Oh, my God. Very cool. So, yeah, this is awesome. Screaming Mimi, Carbon Free 65, Lipo Multi-Tool. Lipo Multi-Tool, what's that?
Yeah, I was looking at
Voltage
this
checker.
thing. This thing looks awesome.
Okay. BT 2.0 on the side. Oh, shit. XT30, XT60. A couple of USBs even.
I think you can power your phone with it. Like, look at the that next to last picture.
Yeah. Look at that. So it's got a BEC built in to give you a nice solid 5-volt output. I'm assuming that it'll charge phones at like full stank-a-lot-of-puss. That's pretty cool.
If you zoom in, I think it actually says like charging high power or whatever.
I clicked the wrong picture and now I'm lost. Oh, it's got a glow-in-the-dark cover? Oh, shit. Atreides knows what's up. Yeah, super fast charging, 96%, 13 minutes until full. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, long and short, Atreides is an awesome dude. You should float around this website and see if you can support him. And yeah, love it. We'll dive into the website a little bit more in the future though, because I do want to see each individual item and take a look. And then yeah, like I said, I messaged him like really quickly in like the couple of minutes that I used my phone on this trip. that like, yeah, what can we work on together? Like what can we sort of collaborate on? So that'll be fun. I'm sure that we will. I'm looking forward to it. What else you got, Kevin?
More chats.
Yeah.
Mike Kanopka says at CiottiFPV. This is evidently going around tonight. Just people tagging you for reasons.
He just wanted a shout out. That's okay. You got it. He got it.
Uriel says we are here all below sea level. Keeps me away from buying a place at seaside. There's a war.
Oh God. Yeah. We won't get into that. Good Lord. Scary shit. Hold on real quick. This is my frame. This is O4 Lite, 1405 motors. This is what I thought you were watching before. Yeah, here's my frame. Go ahead, Kevin.
Danzilla wants to know when he can buy your frame, and so do I.
Yeah, so do I. I gotta break that one. God, look at this. Why is there so much contrast? Jesus Christ. This is an ND8 filter, 3x3x3 HQ props. I'm assuming that I have not switched this O4 Lite unit in here to some kind of a flat color profile, because this is just way too contrasty and way too saturated. But flies pretty good. So I'll leave this on for a minute. All right, where are we at in chat? I'm gonna
Captain Calgary at 2229 says, "Okay, Ciotti, Calgary will be the new coastline." I believe that's talking about the rising tide.
Seriously? Yeah.
Striker FPV says, "I know you went to Florida. I didn't know you went to Florida. I hope you had a fun trip."
I did. I had a blast. I kept it under wraps so that nobody would come and I don't know. All right, here we go. I see where we're at on chat. Here we go. Full speed. Mike K says, "Pretty sure that's life." Indeed, it is. Ryan says, "Favorite sub to." Okay, so we talked about that, right? Should have clarified. That was my question. 2 to 4 inch for freestyle and well-rounded. Okay. 2 inch up to 4 inch for freestyle. It's going to be about how much power you want, how much efficiency you want. Going up to a 4 inch build, the only problem with that is, so that is what happens with the Flywoo O4 Lite camera mount when you don't glue the camera into it. They don't tell you to glue the camera into it, but if you smash into something really hard, the camera will bounce backwards in the mount. The ND filter stayed on, and everything was fine. I just had to push the camera back forward. But yeah, this little Flywoo box here, that's great because you can put their ND filters on the front. The camera is just like snug. You just push the camera in there and it like kind of clicks into place, but apparently you can hit it hard enough to smack it outwards. It was totally fine though. I pushed it back in there and kept flying, as you can see. So yeah, a little bit of E6000 between the O4 Lite camera and this little Flywoo box will prevent that in the future. Just as a quick little aside for what happened there. So yeah, man, like between 2 inch and 4 inch, the noise level is going to go up. The bigger props are going to be more efficient, but the bigger props are going to be more floaty. You're looking at a build right here that's fairly lightweight on a 3-inch propeller. And to be really honest, this is too lightweight. This is with a 4S 550 mAh battery, and that's not enough battery. This build is going to be way better on a 4S 850 mAh battery. This is just, like, it has enough power, but it doesn't have enough weight for four 3-inch propellers. And so I was a little uncomfortable kind of flying this, to be totally honest. And so that's going to be a part of the decision, right? Like if you're only looking at carrying around an O4 Lite camera and VTX, which are very lightweight, you don't really need a 4-inch build unless you want mega efficiency. And yeah, so this is the flight file from where the AIO exploded, and so it exists, but it's unreadable. I might be able to fix it, but I probably won't. 2-inch O4 Whoop. Okay, 2-inch prop guarded Mobula 8 framed tiny whoop on with an ND filter. So we do have. We're not going to have jello because of the ND filter, but this is a 2-inch tiny whoop in the wind. A bunch of wind too. Look at this little. Look at this flag and look at these leaves blowing. And so yeah, that's one of the biggest things deciding 2-inch, 2.5-inch, 3-inch, 3.5, 4-inch is going to be what's your payload, how much weight are you dragging around, how much efficiency do you want. Here's also the O4 Lite without all of the things set on auto. This is with like the shutter speed and the ISO locked in. I went into the motorhome and it was just black in there. I couldn't see where the hell I was. And so yeah, that's really what you want. If you're looking for something like super incognito that you can never get yelled at for flying, a 2-inch or maybe a 2.5-inch is going to be the best bet. It's going to be the lightest, the smallest, the quietest, right? If you want to go 2-3 miles, you're probably going to have to do a 3.5 or 4-inch kind of setup. If it's just straight up freestyle that you're looking for, any of those sizes will get the job done. But the smaller you go, the more the wind is going to hurt it. That I totally did not think I was going to hit that pole, but I just went face first into it because the wind was so gnarly. You know, this is obviously a tiny whoop build. Look at the angle that I have to fly this at to push through the wind to get through these things. And you can see it's just getting pushed all over the place, right? An open prop setup did a lot better. We watched that baby turtle footage in this same spot in the middle of the day. These were flown back to back. So this is a great example of open prop versus prop guards. This is, I knew this was going to be a mess, but I did it to kind of show you guys that difference. And so, yeah, I don't like, in order for me to give you the answer to that question, we would have to spend a half an hour on the phone where I ask you a whole bunch of different questions. What I can do on a live stream is, you know, clue you into the things that make these different builds do, perform better and worse in the different prop sizes. What are the realistic differences, right? Like most people, when you ask them that question, they'll be like, oh yeah, 4-inch. Oh, you want it freestyle? Oh, 4-inch for sure. Yeah, definitely. But you want all the power in the world for freestyle. Freestyle is just about power. No, it's not. Freestyle is about having a balanced setup that's durable. You can build a durable 2-inch balanced setup that is whisper quiet, and if you're in an area with very little wind where you need to be super quiet like that, that's going to be the perfect solution. If you want to fly in big-ass spaces like football fields and whatnot, sure, the 4-inch is going to be the setup because you need as much power as possible. Probably even better to build a 5-inch rig, though, at that point. 4-inch is tough. There's not a whole lot of scenarios where a 4-inch build makes a lot of sense. I think O4 Pro is one of those scenarios, but I think I would do a 3.5-inch instead of a 4-inch build. This is where I didn't hit my dad in the face because I was getting mashed by the wind and there was just no way to accurately fly through his arms there. So yeah, that's realistically how you look at the angle that I have to put this thing at just to stay in place for a split second. This is me saying no to him. Yeah, that is realistically how you pick between 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4. What's the acceptable noise level? How big of a location are you looking to fly? How much range do you want? The smaller the propellers, the less range, the less efficiency. There you go. There's a big no. I'm not going to hit you in the face with this 2-inch tiny whoop. Always look both ways before you cross the street, friends. Not a whole lot extra going on. This is the next. I don't even know why I bothered to fly another battery on this rig. Maybe the wind died down a little bit. Maybe I was just being stubborn. Oh, yeah. I wanted to try to do... So this is a 2-inch tiny whoop with prop guards. So I wanted to do the things that a 2-inch tiny whoop will do better in this scenario, which is dropping down really low and flying under these benches. This was hard as hell because of the wind, but this is me forcing this thing to do it, right? This is what this Mobula 8 will do really well. Doing that kind of stuff with an open prop build, if you bump into one of those tables, it's going to suck. You're going to probably take the walk of shame, maybe bang up a motor, maybe bang up a propeller. And so, yeah, that was just like a partial battery there. So that is a 2-inch 04 Whoop with an ND filter. Last but not least is the 1.6-inch 75mm motor-to-motor 04 Pro Tiny Whoop. At a different spot with less wind, but still some wind. And this was after I flew the same thing, but analog. And good God, the difference between analog and 04 Lite in a setting like this, where you got to be quick. Lots of like scraggle, lots of little branches, lots of little shit going on. Oh my God. I'll just say this. I had lots of jello here too. I had way more fun flying this spot with the analog build. Mainly because of latency, but also because of field of view. I don't know why I just landed it there. Here's flying a full battery here. Obviously, the quality difference is going to be night and day. We'll go to the analog in a minute, but if I'm honest, like with the amount of jello that this thing had, this is again flying in the middle of the day too, super bright out, no ND filter, and so this is going to be like the biggest jello nightmare, and this is the smallest quad, right? 2S 1.6-inch prop. This is the most jello that you can possibly get, really. You know, the high RPM of 2S with little propellers, no ND. So this is a recipe for jello. If I'm moving and yawing and rolling fast enough, you can't really see it. But boy, this was hard to fly. As you can see by a lot of these crashes, like I'm just bumping into shit. Like this was really interesting. I would have thought that having the 04 Lite quality, being able to see these little branches better, would have made this more comfortable to fly than the analog build, but it just wasn't because of the narrower field of view and because of the latency. I think this was on 50 frames. I should have probably kicked this up to 100 frames a second. But yeah, I didn't want to make the jello even worse. This is really challenging for a freestyle tiny whoop in the middle of the day. Like this build basically just shouldn't be flown in the middle of the day unless I get an ND filter on it, which I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna buy another one of the Happy Model new school Mobula 7 04 canopies that has the bayonet mount. This is using the old school Mobula 7 04 canopy with no ND filter. It's a hard mount. There's no adjustable up tilt, and it's a really stout canopy. I've crashed the shit out of this thing, but not being able to put an ND filter on it is rough because like it can do this stuff. Like this without the jello, this would have been really cool flight footage. And so, yeah, I don't think you guys can see it, but the jello is nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. The ground is waving all over the place. There's, like, banding going on. It's a bit rough. So, yeah, there's that. Keep how I was flying in mind there. And now look at the difference here. Look at the difference between how comfortable I was flying there versus this. Obviously, no question that the quality of the footage sucks here. This is analog, but this was really fun. This was incredibly fun to fly this spot with this little guy. Probably also there's like half as much money in this rig, and so like getting this stuck in the top of this tree, I care a lot less about. Losing an O4 Lite, I haven't lost one yet, and I'm like very nervous too, because $130, $140, that's a lot of money on top of everything else. But man, this was such a blast just to rip this ultra lightweight. So this is 1.6 inch prop, gem fins. This is the same setup as what you were just watching, but analog. X12, I believe, is on here. I think this is a Caddx 04, not Caddx 04, Caddx Lite, rather. No, this is a CO3, isn't it? Where is this quad? Oh, it's in here. Pretty sure this is a CO3. This was an absolute blast to fly. These people were like freaked out by it. I'm like, dude, it's a little toy, man. Stop being such a goddamn Nancy. Yes, this is a CO3. This is a relatively recent CO3 camera. And you can see, like, I'm starting to kind of loosen up and just fly it hard. Wasn't willing to do that with the O4. I don't want to lose the damn thing. But yeah, this was very fun. It is an X12. So yeah, this is a Mobula 7 frame, RC and power 1002, 14,000 kV motors, Gemfan 1610 bi-blades, BT 3.0, 2S 300 mAh battery. This is the most fun that I had, and out of all the batteries that I flew. This was just, it's just great. It's light. It's, you know, you got like $110 maybe invested in it. Like practically no latency. Great field of view, right? Like normal FPV field of view. Get it, rip it, have a blast flying it. But taking this flight footage and spending 10 hours on an edit doesn't really make much sense. And like a lot of people are going to watch, like non-FPV people are going to watch this and be like, what the fuck is wrong with your camera? All they're going to be able to think about is, what's wrong with your camera? Why does this look so bad? And that's, you know, so like I can't use this as like a cinematic reel or anything like that. You know, I can't send this to a client and be like, look how good I am flying around a tree. You want me to fly around your tree? Look how good I am flying around trees. They're going to get back to me and be like, no, I don't want that. So this is flying for fun, which is great. But the quest for an O4 Lite setup that can do this continues. This setup I've put a good amount of time and effort into. And as you could see, between like the jello and all the other nonsense, it's not there. Like I'm yeah, it's not quite there. I think it's close. I think that the new Happy Model canopy with the bayonet mount for the ND filters is going to take care of the jello. And then the question, boy, did I get lucky there. And then the question becomes, is it durable? But in a scenario like this, you're not really crashing super hard, right? I think I can forego hammering this thing up and down the street in front of the house, blasting into mailboxes in the concrete over and over and over again. I just, yeah, with how much O4 Lites cost and how like weirdly unavailable they are, I just don't think they're going to be hardcore freestyle bashers. For me, at least. You know, if somebody that's got the money to buy a whole bunch of them, love that for you. I can't necessarily justify just demolishing a bunch of $120 camera and VTX units. And I also don't think that with the field of view and the latency that you're going to want to either, right? Like, one of the reasons that I was able to fly so hard here is the incredibly low latency. I probably need to spend more time screwing around with race mode, which I didn't bring the O3. I didn't bring my goggles 3. I brought the goggles Integra because the 7-inch build is on a Vista, and so the goggles Integras work with the Vista. Unbelievably, the goggles 3s do not. So I didn't have the ability to screw around with race mode here, but I do need to spend more time comparing race mode to analog. Because at that point, with an ND filter and race mode turned on, the field of view is the only thing differentiating these. And I get used to the field of view pretty quick. So, yeah. More development needed, but this was very fun. These trees, I think these are called angel oaks. These trees are incredibly fun to fly around. They've got so much like horizontalness to the branches. You've got lots of stuff to flip and roll around. Also the runtime, man. Look at the runtime on this thing. We are at 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I usually hammer this rig around outside at like full throttle for half the battery, just like cruising this thing around a cool looking spot. And I did, in fairness, run the battery down too far. But crazy runtime. Crazy, crazy, crazy runtime. That's what I got. That's the flight footage that I got for you people. What other questions we got going on here?
We are at 1031 New Borean. Ciotti, I've run the gamut and currently setting up all my 65 mils with very low up tilt and dialing my KVs back to around 26,000. The grins are back on my face, slicing and dicing.
Very cool. Yeah, low up tilt's very fun. Being able to slow down and play around inside is great. Gamehat Area says tears for Teddy food. Cole says Janky Clown Productions. Quick Search says they did high maintenance. That's not this. Is that the show? I guess that's the show. I thought it was another show. I thought it was. I forget. But yeah, there you go. Certain things stick in my brain. Striker says, line of sight is so tough. I built a line of sight 65mm a few months ago with a VTX-less air AIO. It was so fun to order myself. Yeah, it is good. It's an important thing to learn. It is frustrating as hell, though. GameHat says, maxing startup sliders is a good way to burn an ESC when turtling for people who don't have experience, so be careful about that. So the version 2.1, Bluejay version 2.1, is the one that you have to be careful of, maxing the startup sliders. The Bluejay 0.19, 0.17, 0.18, 0.16, the startup power sliders were much less aggressive on them. As I always preach, never, ever, ever with turtle mode, just hammer the sticks. Just turtle mode a little bit. Just be slow. You don't have to the thing. Just be really gentle with turtle mode and you'll be fine forever. But yeah, GameHat is absolutely right. If you can't break the habit of going full stick on turtle mode, I mean, if you can't break that habit, you're going to blow AIOs up regardless of your startup power. It's just very abusive. But yeah, the startup sliders you got to be a little bit careful of. I just always assume that you guys are not being insane with turtle mode because it feels and sounds super abusive, right? And if it feels and sounds super abusive, it probably is. Red says there was talk in 2024 that the race flight 1 F7 disasters could be reflashed to BetaFlight. Hydra designed it for Flight 1, but not straightforward. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. They used, I believe they used gyros that were kind of shit, though. They used 32K gyros, which were very noisy. And so even flashing those to BetaFlight would probably be a pain in the ass. Reaper says, have you flown the Caillou Mini? I have not. Coming soon. Probably that'll be an April project. Danzilla says, but why? Why so much up tilt? We talked about that. Striker says, love when Ciotti hits a wee wooba dooba fluba jankly dankle. Doc Holiday put dots after CiottiFPV, but I just happened to see it. He says, on the new BetaFPV Matrix AIO 12 amp, thought in ESC configurator said flash it to AX5 48 19.1 and stay away from 0.21. My AIO had 96 on it to start. The BetaFPV has sent me 3 of the 12 amp Matrix AIOs. The first one, I didn't reflash it. It was totally fine. The second one, the first thing I did was flash it to 48K 0.21 AX5, and it bricked it. They sent me a replacement one. At that point, I looked on their website, and on their website it says flash 19.2. And so I took that original one, and I moved it from 96 kilohertz 19.2 to 48 kilohertz 19.2, and it was totally fine. When I got the replacement, In here, I flashed it to 48K, 19.2. It was totally fine. I am super tempted to flash one of these to 0.21 to see if it bricks them. I don't think it will. I think that one bricked. I think that one was bricked out of the box. I wish that I'd flown it before flashing 0.21, but I hadn't. And so, yeah, I think you're totally fine, but I don't want to ruin another one of these matrices, and so I'm not going to do it. I hope that one of you has already done it and can say, yes, I flashed it to 48K 0.21 and it was totally fine. That's kind of what I'm waiting for. What worries me is that I couldn't get a straight answer out of BetaFPV about it. So, yeah, I don't know. There's not anything groundbreaking in 0.21 versus 19.2. And so that's the other reason. If there was something better about 0.21, I'd be willing to risk it, I think, but there's not. So just keep it on 19.2, 48K. If there's a link on their website on the product page. Denzel, we talked about that one. Motan says, did you see flying the world's biggest RC Airbus A380 for the first time, Tyler Perry? Huge tattoos. I haven't, no. And I haven't seen that come across my YouTube algorithm. So whose channel is that on? FizzPV says Auger Bit. Looks like that's what Kevin was looking for with the point to keep it centered. Drill bit that'll stay centered. GameHat says, what about PLA motor mount adapters? Should be stiff enough for flying, might not take a crash. Yeah, wouldn't take a crash. No 3D printed materials are really strong enough for, other than TPU, for FPV. I've never seen any of them survive. Madman says, what's up? Sorry I'm late. You're forgiven. Gamehead Ariel says, do you know what happened between Bot and Tommy? No. I hadn't heard anything. Are they not working on stuff together anymore?
That would be some news.
Had you heard about that, Kevin?
I mean, I know that the only thing I knew was that Bot had been taking some time away from FPV and playing a lot of Arc Raiders lately, but I hadn't heard anything.
Looks like Tommy's still selling his frame. The relationship can't be that bad. Well, unless Tommy is now selling it, but Bot's not. But yeah, I mean, Tommy didn't pull the frames down off the website, so that's a good sign. He didn't pull his name off of it. So I wouldn't think it could be that bad, but I have no idea. Mike K says, you turned into Tom Cruise from Days of Thunder. This is gonna hurt. Uriel says, it's the walk of shame to walk to your damaged parts. GameHat says, one time I crashed a Mage 30 and couldn't turtle. Turns out 3 props exploded and the 4th motor shooter shaft bell prop went into the stratosphere, never to be seen again. Jake FPV says, pretty in my eye, the O4 Lite looks better in the goggles at least. However, onboard recording is maybe slight less. Pretty much. Okay, pretty much in my eye, the O4 Lite looks better in the goggles. Yeah, it'll certainly look better in the goggles because it is super contrasty. But yeah, a lot of contrast like that, you lose the highlights and you lose the shadows. So from I got the footage home and wanted to make it look good perspective, you don't actually want that. But yeah, comparing the O3 with the O4 Lite is kind of apples and oranges. You know, you've got one that's like 30 grams and the other one that's 8 grams. One that you can buy, one that you kind of have to get used. So they're not going to fit in the same frames. So yeah, that's tough. GameHead says there are entirely too many versions of the Baby Turtle frame. There are a bunch. GameHead also says, I'm fading. Gotta go. Good to see you guys. Uriel says, I want to live at that place. Ryan says, Rimsler is that guy he's reviewed. No, Rimsler is great. He does kind of say that everything is good. Nah, he doesn't say that everything is good. He's had a couple reviews of things that suck, and he's like, this is not great. He is an excellent pilot, though. He is one of like maybe 4 people that I actually trust to review some stuff. I do think that he has a tendency to say things are I wish he said this sucks more often. Let's just put it that way. But he's a really good pilot, and he's got a cool spot to fly, and he covers a lot of bases. So Rimsler certainly gets a pass for me. He's not one of the guys that makes me want to throw up. He's reviewed like all of the O4 Pro 2 to 10 inch quads. He wanted, but wanted your opinion since you were, wait, what? Oh, Ryan wanted my opinion. I gotcha. Rimsler's really good. There we go. He definitely doesn't hold back. He's roasted a lot of quads. I thought so. Yeah, Rimsler's great. He also deserves a lot of respect because he was like one of the first, if not the first person to decase a GoPro, and he started that whole kind of revolution, which was great. Awesome guy. I was gonna say, because you said Rimsler is that guy, and I was talking about how like there's a lot of reviewers that just say everything is okay, and I was like, you got me thinking for a second there, because he does sometimes say like, oh, this is great, but a lot of times it is great when he says it's great. But yeah, there you go. Euro says, does your dad need a watchdog? I go for it, rubbing my belly. Muffshot says, they look a lot better as beer cans. What's that? What's that in reference to? Cole says, with a good gyroflow tune, you can get down to 5% loss of field of view. Yeah, gyroflow is really nice that you can adjust all that stuff. I have not dove really deep into that to figure all that out. It probably wouldn't take very long. It's really hard with the O4 Lite being so sort of already low field of view and not crazy quality. It's really tough. Maybe this will be the chance, because some of that footage is pretty decent. Maybe this is my shot to dive into gyroflow. It'll be in April though. I gotta focus for the rest of this month to get the rest of this O4 fleet up. Euro says, I just checked my order countdown 2 days. I live in the Netherlands. About that sea level. Scary. I'm almost caught up. Fantastic. Capital C says, after hours of flight and a bunch of gnarly crashes, a broken arm in my Caillou Mini HD build, analog build is still hanging in. I believe there's a picture of that in General Nonsense, which is linked on CiottiFPV.com in the Discord link. Join our Discord. It's the coolest place with the most awesome people. Full Discord access for patrons, but I keep about half the Discord open for anybody. These live streams are all not monetized so that you don't have to watch commercials. Hopefully, you'll take that time and money that you've saved watching commercials. You don't really save money by watching commercials, but maybe you wouldn't have bought something in the commercial that they would have spammed at you. And you can join my Patreon for $3 whole a month. That's only like 20 cents a live stream, 10 cents a day. Join me, help me keep doing this, and we'll keep hanging out, learning stuff. You can also buy some shirts from my Teespring. There's an Etsy store with lots of fun stuff you can buy, including contact enhancer. If you want your, that's not a Tiny Whoop. If you want your plug-based Tiny Whoop motors to deliver 5% better performance, there's a liquid that you can put on there that's over on my Etsy store that you can buy. And I did a video on, it's called Stabilant 22. I did a video last week, I believe, how to put it on. Super easy, super slick. That's how you support me, friends. Smirk Station says, what exactly does jello mean? Small camera systems have what's called a rolling shutter. Basically, if it wants to let a lot of light in, it's got a big rolling shutter it'll open like this. It'll be nice and big, and so it'll let light in. Above my hands, it's not letting light in, all right? And so it's not letting light in now. It comes down, and for a slow shutter speed, it's going to let a big band of light in. That's like 1/30th of a second, 1/60th of a second. You won't get jello there. Where you get jello is when the shutter speed speeds up. So if it lets in this much light at 1/30th of a second, it lets in this much light at 1/1000th of a second. So it's not letting in any light. Now it's letting in just this little strip, and it rolls top to bottom. And so if your quad is shaking and it's letting in just this little bit of light, it's going to go woo, 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 all the way down as it shakes to the right. And now it shakes to the left. Now it shakes to the right. Now it shakes to the left. Now it shakes to the right. And it puts these horrible jello-y kind of wavy lines into the image. You can't get those out. GyroFlow has like a jello reducing thing. It doesn't really work. You can't get that out. It's literally drawing waves in your image. It's locked in. It's there forever. That footage is ruined. The shaking around, you can zoom in on and stabilize, but wavy lines are there forever. And so with small quads, they're always going to vibrate, and they're going to vibrate at very high frequencies, which is really hard to deal with. And so micros have jello problems. The best way to fix jello issues is to run an ND filter, so that even when it's really bright out, when you would normally need to run 1/1000th of a second, with an ND filter, which is just a pair of sunglasses, you can slow your shutter speed down so that it swings down, and like, okay, it's vibrating, but that's fine because it's going to vibrate in the whole frame. And so it's just going to be a little bit blurry. It's not going to have these terrible wavy lines. You've seen jello before. You just didn't know that's what it was called. It happens when there's a lot of light and when your shutter speed is really high. And this is why it's important to not, if you want to get good footage, not leave everything on auto, because the auto settings don't realize that they're going to get jello, and they have a tendency to push the shutter speed really fast. It's also why ND filters are important in the middle of the day. And so you want some of your settings on manual. You want your ISO as low as possible. That'll let you run your shutter speed as slow as possible, and that's how you get rid of jello. If you're like 1/30th of a second, 1/60th of a second, maybe 1/100th of a second, you probably won't have jello unless the rig is really vibrating hard, unless you have like really shitty motors, banged up motors, out of balance motors, banged up props, out of balance props. That's about as quick as I can explain jello without really diving into the weeds. But yeah, that's what's going on. ND filters by themselves do not help with jello. An ND filter and then you turning your shutter speed down to 1/30th, 1/60th, 1/100th, that's what kills jello. So it's not just to put an ND filter on and magically everything is better kind of deal. You have to get a little bit more in depth than that. We talk about this all the time. Come on back to any other live stream that's not like 2 minutes before the end of it, and we'll dive in a little bit more. Great question. Thank you for asking that, Smirk Station. That's a very misunderstood topic by tons of people. Capital C says, I always find myself having more fun when I fly analog. Me too. Red says, we call those live oaks farther south in Florida. Lots of them near our place didn't survive the last hurricanes. That's sad. Yeah, they in Charleston we called them angel oaks, and yeah, because of those big thick branches being horizontal, they have a hard time in the hurricanes, and they're all very, very old, right? It takes them forever to get that big. It's super sad to lose them. Striker says, what do you think is the best / your favorite AIO for 1S 6575 right now? 12 amp G473 beta. Definitely not the G473. That thing's on my shit list right now. The BetaFPV, the new Matrix, I think is the best because it's got the 12 amp FETs and it's got black box and it seems to be pretty durable. 2G4 is the end-all be-all for durability. It's a known quantity, but the new Matrix is looking pretty good. The only thing that scares me about the new Matrix is that I've got lots of like vibration issues with all of them that I haven't quite gotten to grips with yet, which could be not having that front mounting point. Not having that front mounting point seems to let it wobble around on the pitch axis a little bit. It seems like we can just drop notch filters to take care of it, but if you're willing to sacrifice 12 amp FETs and black box, the 2G4 is awesome. Double Hall says, I flashed Bluejay 2148K on my Air 65 V2 and Air 75 V2, and they didn't brick. Thank you so much, Double Hall. I was assuming that the one that I got was bricked out of the box. That is literally all I needed to hear. I just wanted to hear one person that had done it. And yeah, we're good to go. So cool. That's another thumbs up for the new Matrix. Ryan Ryan says, don't get me started on Flywoo wide-angle lenses. I just finished yanking off the glue and refocusing my O4 wide because it was out of focus from the factory. Yeah, that's rough, man. I love that Flywoo sells that camera. They sell an O4 Lite camera right now that's like done and good to go. That's the only thing that I think you should do. Joshua broke an O4 Lite camera, not live, but in his review video. So many other people have broken them. It's really cool that some people have had luck taking the O4 Lite camera apart and putting like O3 DJI lenses on it and like Caddx Ant lenses and all kinds of other weird shit. But like those are like, there's so much risk in breaking them when you're doing that. There's so much risk getting something on the sensor, and then it's just not going to be durable. Like, it just isn't. You're E6000 it back together. Like, it's just never going to be as durable as like a physical kind of thing. And so I think O4 Lite still has a little bit to go. That Flywoo camera is heavy, and there aren't any mounts for it. So, like, it's still, O4 Lite is amazing, but it's still got some time to, it needs some time to mature. Nathan Wells says, I do have a Baby Ratel 2. I'll try and order something for you and ask for the case. Not that I need it yet. As long as someone eventually gets this off my desk, I'm happy. So don't rush. But E4TSH says, rolling shutter also affects yaw panning. It tilts the image. I've never noticed that. It can be corrected in real time, but it's more due to line-by-line readout from the CMOS sensor. Interesting. It tilts the image. I know it can cause like tearing. Is that what we're talking about? Like the tearing in the image?
It's because as CMOS sensors read out, they read out the top line, which is then a little bit horizontally shifted from when if you're panning, it reads out the next line, and the next line is shifted a little bit too. And so you end up with the whole image looks a little bit tilted.
Interesting. I'd never thought about that. Yeah, that makes sense. Because as you yaw, it's gonna. Wow. Yeah. Good call.
Now you're not going to be able to unsee it every time that you see.
Right.
Now it's going to be jello and tilted images.
Eat shit says Psy wrong. I just figured out what it is. It says Psy wrong account. You don't have to say the name of this one. I'm not gonna miss that opportunity to say eat shit. I have a reason to. Last comment of the live stream, Ryan says, I forgot to ask this, but there was a 1S AIO cover that MoFPV used on TC Moore's Meteor 75 Cinewoop conversion that he said he got from your Discord. Do you know if that file is still around? I assume what we're talking about, what did you say? AIO cover is the hexagon version of this. But be even cooler and just run this one, and you can. It works the same. It's got cutouts for the antenna, but there you go. There's where you can get it. Support me and cover your AIO. If it's on my Discord, it's in the 3D printing text channel, which I believe is open to anybody. I don't think, yeah, the 3D printing channel is open to anybody. So it's in there somewhere. Discord is admittedly a disaster to try to search through. But, you know, you can always just buy it on my Etsy store so that I can eat. And God knows I need to eat because I'm a skinny bastard. Thanks for hanging, friends. I feel like I woke up a little bit through the course of this live stream. Wednesday will be better. I'll have gotten some sleep and not have driven almost 7 hours that day. Kevin, any closing thoughts?
Brad Point bit is the name of the tip on the drill that you need. Brad Point.
There it is.
Also, your shirt's amazing.
If I can't get these motors to work, Hattie B's, friends, I'll bug you for the name of that because I'll need to do it. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll be back on Wednesday at, 10? Yeah. Wednesday at 10. I'll see you then. Whoop Wednesday. It's going to be Cinewoop related. We're going back into O4 Pro land. I'm done with this. I need to switch the motors out because these are 6S kV motors, and I'm dumb and didn't read the kV on them. But I'm going to switch these motors out on my side because you guys saw most of this build. This is the first of the O4 Pro-ish. This is actually only O3, but it will work on the O4 Pro setup. This is the first of the live broadcast rigs that's getting transferred over. 2 more. AIOs Cine 3.0 and 3.5. So that's what's coming next. Those will both be on actual O4 Pro. Yeah, that's going to be the rest of this month. Hope you dig it. If you don't, I'll see you in April. Be good friends. My frame, I played that one. So here's the big bastard wailing around because it's just hysterical to see a 40-degree up tilt mount on a 7-inch build, whopping around 5 baseball diamonds. Love you, bye.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams. Yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place. Yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah. Shotties on sticks, Teddy's on paws, side by side legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen over couch scale terrain, backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz fuel fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah. Yo, Shotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive. Teddy push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep. Yeah, CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti. Barking at the breeze, rocking at top speed things, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends sing it loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.